Morning.
Morning. Morning.
Blessings to you, dear ones.
Thank you.
I bring to your attention those who have gathered to be with you this morning. You may recognize them as angels. You may know them as your guides, your teachers. They may be family. They may be friends. But if you open your eyes, you begin to witness the host who is here. And if you open your hearts, you begin to feel what they are generating and directing to you. With these energies abounding, I now welcome you to present questions that have the potential of opening you, that you may in yourself experience a greater sense of connectedness with life. And please speak up.
We have a labyrinth on our property that's adjoining, we were told years ago, a trading post. And this last summer I was walking the labyrinth and became aware of native children jumping up and down behind the bushes trying to see what I was doing. And that kind of surprised me. And the next day I came back, this time looking for somebody, and older males were there. And then I came back the next day, women, and then finally the next day, older women. And then it kind of ceased. My question is, what were the dynamics happening? Did I fall into some kind of time traveling, or is there essence still in the property? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. How long have you lived on this property?
Since 1962.
Long time for you.
Yes.
A short time for life. The property itself, as you call it, is simply a name connection that you have to it. Whereas in reality, it is deeply your Mother Earth. And she is one of those planets who has been privileged with many different life forms. And they have been on the planet for hundreds of thousands of years. And this particular location of which you are referencing has been populated by many of your kind over thousands of years. So there is that energetic remembrance of their presence, which can be brought to your attention if you are receptive. For some people, this would be frightening to consider that the house they live in, the property they live on, was occupied by others before them and lived out different scenarios in which they did. But I assure you, this is the truth. So for you to have that experience is a confirmation as to the continuity of life that often is missed or misunderstood. I understand that you have also proceeded to go from there to engaging in a healing connection with those who have lived before you.
Yes.
So that when you move about through the pattern of the labyrinth, that you are, in essence, moving, walking a pattern of healing.
Yes.
For those of the past, those of the present, and those of the future. Both all human, animal, plant life.
Yes.
So that in that you are bringing your participation in life to another level that is open and available to everyone if you are able to get beyond your myopic, ego-dominated, only now, me, it So in this, I say to you, good question that allowed for much expression that hopefully can show all of you how truly involved you are in life. And if you are willing to open yourself and begin to live it more fully, you'll find a fuller experience awaiting you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Foster.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. I feel a powerful opportunity coming toward us with the winter solstice. And my question is around how can we be a blessing to life, to earth, in this powerful time in such a way that good can occur from the voice of humanity into the world.
How can you live this in such a way that good can be the result?
Yes.
Yes. Well, what is good?
Being grateful,
Yes.
recognizing connectedness.
Yes. Live it.
Live it.
Yes. Yes, you see, so often you get stuck in your head. And in so being stuck, then your expression is very limited. But if you can be here now, be present in this moment, then this moment is available to you instead of only what you have experienced before. Now, there's not anything wrong with past experiences, but if that is where you dwell, then you tend to fill your now with them. If you want this season to be a season of joy, of connectedness, of love, of true inner weaving of self with all that is, then it's very simple to do. Live your joy. Live your love. Live your happiness. How do you do that? You share it. You give it, because that is living it. If you only say, no, I do not have enough to share, then you're going to be like the biblical reference that Jesus said, to those who have shall be given, and to those who have not it shall be taken away. Those who feel that they do not have enough have so doomed themselves to not having enough. Those who say, what I have, I give, and what I give joyously, they open themselves to the abundance of life. And this is the true measure of abundance, that you live your good. Whatever it is that you have as a definition of good, live it. And you'll find that in living it, it expands. And you'll find that in its expansion, you'll come to a deeper realization of what good truly is. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Foster? Dr. Foster, can I ask you a question, please?
If you ask louder.
Sure. Thank you. I was wondering if this question that I have is something that doesn't just pertain to me, it's more...
You started out very well, and then you tuned it down so low I could not hear you. So please speak up.
Okay. This question I have is something that doesn't just pertain to me. It's really more of all of us in the United States. I was just interested if you have any information about what our political climate will be for the next few years. And
What the political climate will be for the next few years.
Yes.
Yes, very easy to say, answer.
Thank you.
Chaotic.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, it's simply a sign of the times. But I do not want to mislead you into feeling despair about this. You have to try to understand, or perhaps allow yourself to be open and receptive to the realization that you are in a time where a cycle is ending. And if you've read history, you notice that endings aren't very pretty. They just don't have that sense of beauty that perhaps other things do. So if you look at this, you'll see humanity is involved in a transformation. And that transformation is a challenge to the existing consciousness in individuals and then in the collective. To then bring it to politics, politics have always been exciting. Exciting in a way that much of what really is causing it to happen is kept behind the scenes, and what is projected out for the masses to see is an illusion. But the illusion is now becoming so heavy that it is starting to crumble under its own weight. The only thing that's going to improve in politics is honesty and integrity. And as you see, the majority of those who are politically oriented, they're not at all wanting to do that, because if they do that, then they're probably going to lose what they're getting behind the scenes, and they don't want that to happen. Do you follow this?
Absolutely.
Yes, yes. So I say to you, it is what it is, and it is as it is, but it isn't necessarily as it is appearing. There's more to it that lies behind the scenes, but if you're only looking at it through your mind, your thought, your feeling that is so conditioned, then you're going to be dismayed, and you're going to believe that all is lost. And it will be in part true, but that which is lost then makes room for that which could be gained. And notice I say it conditionally, because you see, it is up to each and every one of you. What have you got that you're struggling with that, if you get honest about it, really needs to be let go of? And if you open yourself that much, why not go to the next and say, well, what could this possibly make room for that I'm going to truly delight in living? It causes you to perhaps get out of your rut of believing who you are, that you believe you are. And then politically, to get out of the rut of believing politics to be what it is, and look again. So thank you. By the way, I'm not going to run for president.
Dr. Foster?
Yes.
We've talked about in class about the one power.
Yes.
And you asked us to think about how to put the one power into play.
Yes.
And that's my question is, can you give some examples of how we put the one power into play?
Yes. How do you put the one power into play? Well, the very first thing is to realize the one power is already in play. Relax. It's there. It's alive. It's well. But what is happening is you are awakening to what already is. So the mere fact that you are awakening is you allowing the one power to come into play more in your own experience. That's opening up to it. At the same time, just as we were talking about politics, you become aware of things that aren't working. And instead of clinging to them, you let them go. When you let them go, you make space in yourself so that then you become potentially involved in filling that space with a deeper realization. The one power is within me. The one power is about me. Instead of me being led astray by that weakening part of me called ego, I will learn to recognize it as something that is in the process of transformation, disintegration, reintegration. And all of this then makes room for the realization of one power to settle more firmly in my awakening consciousness. Because, as I said, it already is. But what is happening in your universe now is that consciousness is becoming conscious of itself. And as it grows more and more conscious, and it is happening through you because you are consciousness of the one power, as it grows through you, then you find yourself realizing, I am at one with all there is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Foster?
Yes, and please speak up.
My question is about addictions and what is the
About what?
Addiction.
Addiction, yes.
What is the purpose of addiction for humans, and why are we drawn to certain addictions? Some people.
Certain addictions?
Sugar, alcohol, drugs, shopping, sex, all kinds of addictions
Oh
humanity
my.
has. And how to get out of it.
And how to get out of it. Oh, I thought you just wanted to know about it like you were going to make the first part of it very easy, seeing as all of you are living it in one way or another. How do you get out of it? Well, in a way, we've been speaking of it all this time. So I'll bring it forth in a way of who you have believed yourself to be has been stimulated, agitated by ego. You have grown so accustomed to the insecurity of ego in yourself that you have followed its leads in its attempts to get what it believes it must have in order to be secure. Well, eventually you either burn yourself out for this incarnation and you don't learn it this time, or somewhere along the way you start waking up to the fact that addictions are attempts to make yourself happy. If that means that you're trying to escape a void or fill in the void, it doesn't matter. It's simply the same application. That is, when you start seeing it for what it is, you realize, my God, where am I in all of this? What happened to me? I have run away from myself. I have avoided me. You see, it isn't limited to just one lifetime. You have lived thousands of incarnations. And there's a pretty good chance that there's one or two more left for you. Unless, of course, you already consider yourself perfect done deal. But if you are bringing up this consideration of addictions, then it reveals that you are awakening to see that addictions aren't serving you like you once believed they would. And I know she's the only one who has addictions, because she's the only one who spoke about it. The rest of you simply are silent witnesses. But in your witnessing, allow yourself to be honest, and you're going to see addictions are opportunities. They're opportunities for you to see how you have been treating yourself, and at the same time trying to convince yourself that this is the best way to do it. Physical form, a marvelous creation, and it has its ways of letting you know how you're treating it. Addictions, opportunities to grow. If you look at them as something evil, something bad, then, my goodness me, you're missing it. You're missing it. I'm not encouraging you to go out and try any and all different forms of substances. Engage yourself in self-deprecating activities to find out what they can do to you. I am saying if you can look at yourself right now and be honest and see, how am I treating myself? Then you can come to a shift in your relationship to yourself. And this really is what we're talking about. Addictions reveal the kind of relationship that you have with yourself. Were you to have a child, were you to have a dear loved one that was so precious to you, you would want for them to have the very best. And I assure you, that would be free of addiction. Thank you.
Dr. Foster?
Yes.
Can you speak of what's the cause of autism, and if there are...
Could I speak of what?
Autism? Autism.
Autism.
Yeah, and
Yes.
if can be cured. I have a coworker who has a 5-year-old child with
Yes.
autism. Yes.
Yes.
I would like to help if you know.
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much.
Any of you experience autism, either personally or very near? Yes. All right. So it hasn't been clearly defined, but it is starting to be recognized more and more, and in ways it is seen as the individual who has this type of awareness has some profound recognitions that the normal person doesn't share. And at the same time, seems to have behavior that is antisocial or keeps them from not being involved. I mentioned earlier about the fact that you have lived thousands of lives. When you come into a lifetime before actually entering into physical form, you gather with a group of spirits that you're going to be with and who are going to be with you for the duration of that particular incarnation. And you're also going to see before you your life's plan. And with things as they are developing now, autism is a part of some spirit choices. Knowing full well that they are going to have the opportunity to learn in that way. And so they say yes to it. And then it is, like most of you, forgotten. Because you see, right now, all of you have lived part of your life's plan, and you have the rest of it to go. And while it is there in form, it is always subject to how you are living it now. So if there is the opportunity for someone such as a parent to grow more deeply involved with their child who is autistic, then there will be that opportunity that very definitely had potential in the child's life's plan may also have been with the parent or parents. So there is that opportunity to learn a cure, to go to that place of can we learn what is the cause of it and then prevent the cause so that it no longer happens? Yes. Yes, that is a possibility. But many times it is missed, and that is what I said. It is what it is. It is as it is. Many times there is the complete rejection of that. No, I want my child to be normal. Not necessarily what the child in itself has as its internal attending awareness. So I'm saying these things to try to help you look again and see how can I help? First by accepting it is what it is. And then what do you have in you that is going to be the primary energy to make a connection through which any and all possible help could come? That's the power of love. If you truly love, instead of saying, oh my God, I can't handle that. If you have the power of love, you have the power of connection, through which then any information that can and will come to you from Source itself has a channel, a clear channel to work through, so that then you can pass on information, you can pass on your involvement, however that may be. You also are helping in enlightenment, and that includes the medical profession and so on and so forth. You understand? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Foster?
Yes, last time.
I have a question about becoming a manifester, because it just seems like anything I want right now, I just like, it's like a catalog from a universe, and I just pick it, and it comes. But I'd like to stay there all the time. How do we do that?
Sounds like your ego's getting in there and wants to hoard everything. A part of you recognizes that it's working, and you're rejoicing in that. And I say to you, live it. And when you hear this other voice say, how can I stay here? How can I keep it forever? Realize that's the voice of insecurity. All right? It really isn't who you are, nor is it who you are becoming, unless you allow yourself to be completely manipulated by it. Simply open yourself up with gratitude, with praise, with thanksgiving, and say, I rejoice in what is working in my life, that the universal catalog is open to me, and I can pick and choose. All right? Good. Thank you. Please do realize that the host has been working with you throughout the duration of our communication. Part of this, of course, is because of their presence, and then your choosing to operate with that attending awareness in your involvement in this. So this is encouragement for you to keep it alive. Instead of now closing down and starting to listen to the mumbo-jumbo that would go on in your head, see that that will be there until it finally, completely is transformed. Recognize it for what it is, and then take your awakening awareness everywhere you go, so that you, as the disciples of old, recognize you are the truth. Live who you are. Blessings to you until we meet again.
Thank you.
For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.